In today's gaming news, Rise of the Triad gets a release date, PSN's Summer Blast Sale starts tomorrow, and if you consider inflation, the PS4 and Xbox One are actually super cheap. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It is Monday, July the 1st, and my name is Force, here with your day's gaming news. First up today, an old school style shooter, Rise of the Triad, has finally got a release date, which harkens back to the good old days of shooters where they were off-the-wall crazy and very skill-based. Rise of the Triad is a reboot of the 1994 first-person shooter Rise of the Triad Dark War. The game features all of the crazy weapons, power-ups, and skill shots you remember from old school shooters, but this time running on Unreal Engine 3 for more graphics. Rise of the Triad will be available on July 31st for $14.99. Pre-orders are currently available for Rise of the Triad if you're looking for a game with old school style gameplay and craziness, but with more graphics. You can pick that up on places like Good Old Games and Steam, and I will provide you guys with a link in the video description below. Next up in news, Sony will be hosting a PSN sale, the Summer Blast Sale, which appears to be a potential response to Microsoft's Ultimate Game Sale that we talked about last week. The PlayStation Network Summer Sale begins tomorrow and will run for the next 2 weeks. There are 2 levels of savings, a normal sale price and then an additional discount for members of PlayStation Plus. Week 1 includes discounts on Black Ops 2, Arkham Asylum, Shadow of the Colossus, and the Ratchet & Clank series, with Week 2 offering a Star Trek, Hitman, The Force Unleashed 2, and Just Cause 2. Now, just like we touched on this topic in Friday's episode, having sales on digital versions of games is a fantastic thing, and hopefully this is a look at more potential sales in the future on both platforms, both the Xbox and the PlayStation console. And speaking of both those consoles, last up in news today, I'd like to talk with you guys about the price. We have, of course, been informed that the PlayStation 4 will be costing $400 and the Xbox One will be costing you $500, but when you're looking in the grand scheme of things, how does that match up to console launches in the past? According to an Ars Technica article, when you adjust for inflation, the asking price of the PS4 and Xbox One isn't that bad. Even when not adjusting for inflation, last generation's PS3 launched at $600, and going back 20 years, we saw the Neo Geo launch at $650, and the 3DO cost a pricey $700. Alright, so adjusting for inflation, according to this article, it looks like these console prices aren't that bad. Now, we could of course talk about purchasing power and how much money people have to spend today compared to the past, or we could talk about the fact that manufacturing costs are probably much less than they were in the past as well. But with all those things aside, was anyone really complaining about the price? I mean, I know people love pointing out the $100 difference between the PS4 and the Xbox One, but $400 or $500, that doesn't seem that pricey to someone like myself. I mean, being a PC gamer, every couple of years I purchase a brand new video card, which typically cost anywhere between $400 and $800. You can of course go lower or higher than those price points, but that's typically the sweet spot that'll have you a video card that can run games on a pretty high setting for a few years. So we've got these consoles that you're likely going to have for what, 5 to 10 years? Even $500 for the Xbox One, when you look at that price, doesn't seem like that much, especially considering many people nowadays who purchase smartphones spend about $500 every year or a couple of years as well. Of course, you could say things like, well, you've got the possibility to purchase a plan where you get the phone for $100 and you get a 2-year plan, but that's actually something that could potentially also be coming to consoles. It hasn't been announced yet, but I think there's still the possibility that we may see something either for the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One where you buy the console for say $200 or $300 and you purchase a 2-year subscription to Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus. I mean, there's something like that could potentially be like that sometime in the future. I see that as a possibility. So anyways, what I want to know from you guys today is what do you think about the prices of these consoles? And we can talk about the inflation stuff and we can talk about purchasing power. But with all that stuff aside, how do you feel about these prices? Do you think they're priced fairly in today's market for the money that you're spending, for the money that you have? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of the show. As always, thank you so much for watching. Once again, this has been Force, and you have just been force-fed. You know, if you adjust for inflation, the Xbox One really isn't that expensive, said the Microsoft-funded article.